What's good? It's a boy Dude Reviews, and today we're going to be talking about John Wick, a 2014 American neo-noir action thriller film directed by Chad Stahelski and written by Derek Kolstad. It stars Keanu Reeves as John Wick, also starring Michael Nivoxt, Alfie Allen, Andrina Palik, Bridget Moraine, Dean Winters, Ian McShane, John Gigozami, and William Dafoe, and it is the first installment in the John Wick film series. So, what's the movie about? Legendary assassin John Wick retired from his violent career after marrying the love of his life. Sudden death leaves John in deep mourning when sadistic mobster Lufus Tarasui, played by Alfie Allen, and his thugs steal John's prized car and kill the puppy that was a last gift from his wife. John unleashes the remorseless killing machine within and seeks revenge. Meanwhile, Lufus's father, John's former colleague, puts a huge bounty on John's head. And the director approach to action scenes drew upon their fascination for anime and martial arts film. The film used fight stuff and gun fu techniques from Hong Kong action cinema. And the film also pays homage to works such as John Woo's The Killer, Jean Parameville's Lee Sikil Roog, and Les Samurai, John Borman's Point Blank, and the spaghetti western films. The film was met with positive reviews, with critics calling it one of Keanu Reeves' best performances and one of the best action films of 2014. It grossed 88 million against a budget of only 20 million. So the second film also did really well, and yeah. And let's talk about the good stuff of this film. Let's talk, since it's based on spaghetti western, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the actually, there's not too much bad. Let's just talk about the positives. And the positives is definitely Keanu Reeves' performance. Keanu Reeves gives this kind of humanized version of the Terminator. This guy is ruthless. This guy is determined. If you mess with John Wick, he will find you and he will kill you. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Liam Neeson's character from Taken, how he's just his brain just goes to auto killing machine mode. But even though he's this killing machine, the film cleverly sets up John Wick's character as this kind of nice guy, you know. He had a beautiful wife, and the thing is that there is no dialogue in like the first, well, after like the first 10 minutes, when we get to see the backstory, the entire backstory of his wife, there is no dialogue whatsoever. It's just kind of John Wick looking at past photos and thinking of his wife, and you instantly can see what's happening and how he's feeling and what's going on. And I instantly knew that, yeah, his wife died from an illness, and they don't say what illness it is, it's just an illness. And at least he didn't go into all the complications of all that. They just kept it really basic and simple. And yeah, I really do like the whole setup of this film. And then his wife knew that she was going to die, and she gives him this puppy, and this puppy is kind of a way for him to mourn. And you just see like the reaction when he gets the puppy. He's so broken. He is a broken man after what happened. And when these thugs, basically Theon Greyjoy's boys, Alfie Allen's boys, basically kill his dog because they like his car, and yeah, they think he's a jerk because he kind of talked back to them at the gas station. John Wick just goes into auto drive, and Theon Greyjoy is like, who was that nobody? And his dad's like, that was John Wick. And he's like, oh. And it's really funny. I did like that bit. The film really, the action scenes are very, as I said, pretty anime-like. It's very anime-like, the action sequences, to be honest with you. And the whole film does have very anime-esque styles to it, you know, like the way the characters talk, present themselves and all that. It does feel like it could be an animated film. And they do use interesting camera shots and all that. There's also a lot of like interesting color schemes, you know. They do really well with like the color contrast. I especially like the scenes with John Wick in the nightclub. It looks amazing and fantastic and just great. And I love the scene when he's just kind of chasing Alfie Allen's character across the nightclub, trying to kill him and all that. It's just really great. And the action, normally in some action scenes, they would just, it's very quick cuts. It's very, and you don't, your eyes don't get the chance to process what's happening. But with this film, the camera actually holds on what's happening and it doesn't like move about. It's like up, down, left, right. It's like it holds. You can see what's going on. You can absorb it, and it's like, yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it, and it's really great. And some of the dialogue exchanges that John Wick has with certain people is really great. Particularly this kind of guy. I'm not too sure what his name is, but he's kind of like this hotel manager guy, and he's like, "Hey there," he's like, "Hey, you're back in the business?" Yeah. And another conversation where he's like talking to this police guy. You think after he's killed him, he's like, "Oh no, he's in trouble." But then the police guy knows him. He's like, "Hey, John." He's like, "Hey, Kevin. You're at it again." Yeah, you can say that. Okay, goodbye. I don't know, just it's it's a very intense, dark moment, but it's kind of the way it's executed is kind of funny, and they do a lot of those scenes, and it's really great. Um, the villain of the film, the two villains, you got Viggo Tarasco and his son Lucius. Alfie Allen and Michael Neuvxt, they are pretty damn amazing. Alfie Allen, like, I only know this guy playing Theon Greyjoy in Game of Thrones, and he pulls off a pretty decent American accent. I really do like his character. He is this, you know, spoiled punk little dude who's basically like, yeah. But when you see him with his father, you can say that, even though he comes off really big, he's still a little kid to his father. And his father is just the biggest jerk on the whole planet. He's the head of this family crime family thing. And his whole business and how all the money happened was all because of I don't want to ruin too much actually. That'll go into spoilers. So if you haven't seen, yeah, it's interesting when we find out how he got all the money and who did all this, and it's really great. All the other characters are great. All really wonderful, great characters. Especially Adrena Palik, and you may know this lady from Bobby from Agents of Shield. I didn't recognize her at first. Because I'm so used to seeing her with blonde hair, and I was like, yeah, it's the girl from Agents of Shield, and yeah, she really does this great, distinguished female contract killer, and oh, she's really cool. She's ruthless and all that. I just like these. Um, yeah, this film was a pretty well paced film. It's not too long and it's not too short. The thing with this film is that normally these action films they would go on forever and you have no idea what's happening. But this film actually, without using too much exposition, it actually allows you to know what's happening. It's more show don't tell, this film. And the cinematographer, whoever did it, Jonathan Sala, he's amazing. Like, he knows his stuff. And the film was well edited. That was Elizabeth Ronalds who did the editing. All really well done. And I freaking enjoyed this film. My only gripe with this film is that um I would probably say there is a point in the film where you think it's going to end, and you're like, "Oh, that was a good film," but then it continues because it's weird. It kind of does a lot of, I don't know. It feels like it should have ended at a certain part of the film, and then it just kind of moseys on. It's like, oh, so it's done now. He's gonna get into the car. He's gonna drive off into the sunset, and that's the end of the film. But no, it just goes on, and I'm like, oh, I'm not disappointed. I was just like, did we need to have all that other stuff towards the end? But I know. And the final fight scene, it's very, very anime like. It's very final battle boss, Naruto versus Sasuke type of fighting. It's like, oh gosh, it's like taijutsu's hand to hand combat. It's like, yeah, it's very stylized to be honest with you. But I like it. I do like it. And with that, I'm gonna give John Wick an A minus. And I'm definitely gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Go and watch this film right now, but I'm guessing you have. But thank you for watching. Please like and share this video, comment down below, tell me what do you think about this film. Do you like it? I like it. What's your favorite part of this film? And with that said, thank you for watching. As always, a boy did review signing out.